Peter, just sum up what you saw tonight from your guys and the way they battled and came back.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously fighting back in the third period like that. Just our guys have been there before, done that before. We knew that we could score 2 goals in the third period, just I think from confidence of the year that we've had. And but that being said, you got to go out and do the work. And I thought the guys really pressed in the third period. You know, first period was fast. There's hardly any whistles. It went up and down the ice really quick. And second period, I thought the chances went back and forth. Both goaltenders were really good. Some big saves, but you know, it came down to the third period for us where we had to go out and get something done. And I just thought the guys pushed really hard. They never caved on that game. They brought their best in the third period.
Molly?
Peter, just what could you say about what Chris Kreider did in the third period there?
I just saw him for the first time out in the hallway here, so just because he was tied up. But that is just a monster third period. I mean, he put it on his back, and he really delivered. There was a lot of it was more than him, but at the end of the day, we needed to score goals, and this is what he does, and this is what he did tonight. It was pretty unbelievable performance by him, especially for a guy who, you know, wasn't on the ice yesterday, and to come back and throw in a game like that, throw in a third period like that is pretty special.
There.
Peter, in the second period, there was a sequence where Martinook makes that incredible scooping out of the net, and then I think Panarin goes in a breakaway, doesn't score. An outsider watching that thinks that, well, it's just not the Rangers' day.
Yeah.
What are you thinking at that moment, and what do you do about it?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been. I think that would have made it 3-2, right? If that had gone in, it would have made it 3-2, and that would have been obviously a big goal for us at that point. We wanted to win the second period. You know, we scored to make it 2-1 and get back into that game. And you know, if you score that next goal, you've won the second period and you've set it up for the third. And there was that was sequenced. You know, didn't go our way. You know, conversely, as we're pushing in the third period, you saw Igor make some monster saves in the third at the right time, as we were trying to score, as we were trying to push that game. And oftentimes that happens. You loosen up or you leave yourself a little bit on the back end, and you need your goaltender to make saves. I thought he made some incredible saves throughout the game, but especially in the third period.
Dan?
Peter, in between periods, I don't know if you heard him say it, but Chris Kreider apparently said, I'm going to go get one. And he obviously goes and gets 3. But to...
Did he call that?
Apparently he did.
He call
he didn't call 3. I don't think he called 3. That'd have been something. But I guess, you know, further into, you know, just his performance tonight, but just who he is and what he means to this team, for him to stand up and say something like that in the locker room and then go out and deliver. Yeah. What does that tell you about who he is and what he means?
Well, I mean, he's a leader on one of the leaders on the team for a reason, and he's been here. He's the elder statesman on the team, one of them, and we needed that from him. We needed that from the leaders on the team, Panarin and Trocheck and Shesterkin. We needed those guys to be big. We needed everybody. So I don't want to sell it like it was just those guys, because it was a huge effort tonight against a really good hockey team, a team that's been tops in the league for the last 4 or 5 years. They've had an incredible record and extremely hard to play against. But you're down in a situation and in a game like that, you need that leadership, and you need those players to step up and make a difference in a game when you're down a couple of goals, and I thought they all did. But obviously him with 3 goals, it certainly leaves a mark, and it's got his stamp on it.
Larry?
Peter, I'm wondering if you ever get the feeling that this team is carrying a burden of Rangers history that they haven't won in so long, and you know, the narrative is they haven't done it, done it, and it's more about the history than it is about this team. So I'm wondering, are you aware of that?
Yeah, I think I might be somewhat aware of it. You know, having not been here, Larry, I can only tell you like the story of what's gone on this year, what we've seen this year from this group, right? But understanding a little bit of that history, and I'm pretty honest about what I see in a game, and I thought we played a really good game in Game 4, a little bit loose in the first period. We were way off the mark in Game 5. And at that point, maybe what you're saying can sneak in or slide in. And that was what, in my opinion, what was really probably one of the biggest points tonight, is that when our back was up against the wall going into the third period, the players in that room delivered against a really good hockey team. And we were able to find ourselves to be able to score goals and now move on to the conference finals.
Dan?
Peter, I guess I got to ask this just simply because you're halfway to where you want to be. How quickly do you turn your focus now to what's next? How long do you allow yourself to enjoy this before you turn your focus to what's next?
We've been, I don't know the schedule of what's going to happen here and when we'll be called to the table again for Game 1, which is just really exciting, and I think everybody's fired up about that. But I think we've been fortunate with the way that the season ended, the way the first round ended, and what you guys were able to see when you're in there is a little bit of rest, and then almost like a mini training camp to try and get ready for the next opponent has worked really well. And so I think we'll have a few days. I think we'll be afforded some of that again, which is nice. And then we'll be ready when they tell us it's time to go. We'll be ready to go.
Over here.
The game ends, and you have a history, a friendship with Rod Brindamore.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like after the final horn went?
You think, I mean, you think about the job that he's done here as a coach of this team. And this is his first crack at coaching too, and he's done an amazing job as a coach. Our relationship has always been good and strong. We've shared something together that, you know, we'll both take with us for the rest of our lives. But what he's done here in Carolina is he's provided a system and a culture and a work ethic led by him and what he wants out of his teams, and it's a reflection year after year of how they play. And it's tough. It's tough losing. I've been on the wrong side of it many times, and it's always tough. But I have nothing but respect for Rod and the job that he's done here, and for their team as well, the organization and the team, because they are a top team in the NHL.
We'll finish
Peter.
with Ethan.
Peter, you mentioned obviously the resilience tonight, and you guys
Yeah.
have had moments of that throughout the season, but you know, maybe this kind of stage is a little bit different. And I'm wondering, is this a moment where you learn something new about the team, or do you feel like that groundwork has been laid and you are confident in it,
Yeah.
you know, in this kind of moment?
I don't think, I'm not surprised. I would find it hard to believe that the players would say that they were surprised. I don't know what they would say. They could ask them. But I do think that the groundwork has been laid. And tonight was set up by many days of what we've done prior to this, whether it's in practice or whether it's in games or games where we had to come back, or you know, the meetings we've had, or the accountability that the players have had to the way that they're going to approach every day. I would say that you know, just knowing what we've done this year, that this could happen tonight.